Hey, this is Dustin Miller with the PPC Pros. We are a PPC management agency, also part owner in a few brands, which is where we work with WeClick Group and Oscar and his team. All right, so I reached out to Oscar. We had a brand that we had an email list that was pretty stagnant, low-hanging fruit, I would hope. A few thousand people, wasn't a big list. And so I knew Oscar did a lot with email, especially for e-commerce brands. He seemed like he knew his stuff. So I reached out to him and, had him start working on some of the email marketing. Basically, the idea was that I knew there was money in that list somewhere, but we just did not have the time. And quite honestly, didn't feel like investing in a dedicated person who would work on that full time. Didn't have an email person or team that we could lean on. And so that's where we reached out to Oscar and his team. So at the time, we were just doing email with Oscar and his team. And before that, we were, we'd send out an email from time to time. We'd make a few $1,000 or a few hundred, depending on what the email was for and what the product was. I knew that there was money there. So it was just a matter of not having the time, not having the right approach, not having, somebody who's working on it consistently and putting out, a content calendar for campaigns that are handling the follow-ups. So we were doing it when we had the time, which was not very often. When we sent out an email, we make a few hundreds, maybe a couple of $1,000s with WeClick. I mean, we got started. First month, they were building out everything. So come month two, I think our first month, we went to like 10 G's, something like that. Like it was $8,000, which is pretty good. I mean, honestly, we're going from hundreds to 1,000 or two, maybe to like $8,000, which is sending out, good emails, the right messaging. So I think it was great. Ever since that month, it's been pretty consistent. The list hasn't really grown by a huge amount. So it's kind of challenging, I know, from an email perspective to not have, a bigger list every month. And we have a lot of repeat customers. So that probably isn't helping, but I mean, we've seen growth and we've seen consistent revenue and return from every single month since we started. So Oscar and their team, they put together some flows for our pop-up on our website that obviously grabbed email. Now we're about to start doing text messaging as well. They worked on some campaigns. So those would just be regular, either seasonal campaigns or they segment out our list based on the products people had purchased. So they put together, obviously, the design for all the email, the content, stuff like that. But it's really good to have a few different flows people could walk through. And we also started doing a giveaway. They helped us out with the giveaway sequence after somebody opts in. So, I mean, they've been pretty, helpful with putting that together and getting us a more structured email program each month. So we know we have, 3 to 4 emails a month going out. So having them work on a few different things at the same time has been pretty helpful and proven to work pretty well. Yeah, so like I mentioned, the consistent results for us have been, 5-figure revenue months ever since we started. Working with them to come up with new ideas has been good as far as like having feedback, having meetings. So I think, for the months that we could do more, it's usually the months that do better are usually when we have a holiday, we have a sale going, obviously, from time to time. And also, depending on what I tell them I want to focus on, right? So that's always a factor. You have to kind of give them, they have to work with what you give them. But it's been pretty good. Like I said, 5-figure months, going from making hundreds to maybe 1,000 or two an email to now doing, 10,000 plus a month. Every single month is pretty darn good. So you don't hear any complaints from me. So ever since we started doing the email with Oscar and the team, it's been great. It's been good to know that somebody's taking care of the email content, the email program, while we're working on other things to build the business, the ads, the new websites, the products, all that. So I think one of the biggest things is knowing that it's being handled, taken care of, and it's done well. And you're still in the loop. You still get approval. Again, obviously the returns allowing us to spend more on ads, because obviously if we can convert our email list better, we can afford to pay more to acquire a customer. So that's great for growth. We're also going to use them for another brand here pretty soon, just because, we've seen good results and we want to have them work on this other brand that's a little bit newer and see what they can do there. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's great to know that somebody's doing a great job. They're an asset to the company because you're getting a return on their work. You're not paying them to do something to keep them busy. You're getting a return on that money. So that's always huge. And, it's helping us look more professional in terms of having a very structured message and very consistent message and design, where before it was a little bit less consistent. So it's been a great experience, and having them on the team just goes to show, if you have the right people, I mean, it's a no-brainer to be paying them, because ultimately you're making the return on their efforts. So, I mean, if you're thinking about working with Oscar and the team, I would say don't hesitate. If they don't think they can help you, I would imagine he would tell you. They're pretty upfront. They don't waste your time or blow smoke. I mean, I've already referred them to a few other people that needed email services. And again, I'm going to work with them on another brand very soon. So obviously I'm a fan. I would say, give them a shot. If you're going to try doing this yourself, unless you've got a lot of skill and you know what you're doing, I would say that's a mistake. You're going to be getting a return on their work. It's not like you're paying them to do things you could do and get the same result. Probably you're not going to get the same result. You're probably going to get a lot worse result. So it just makes no sense. If you're going to put in $1 and get 5 or 10 back, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you want to try to save that $1 and maybe you get back nothing, or maybe you get back $2 or $3, whatever it is. So I mean, to me, I say it's a no-brainer. Give them a call. I mean, honest guys, they're hard workers, they're good, they're trustworthy, and they're very communicative, which is very hard to find in the digital marketing or email marketing or any marketing space. There's people who are available when you need them. So highly recommend them, and give them a call.